There are people who earn six figures and still feel stuck. Not struggling, but not moving forward either. Every month looks the same. Money comes in, money goes out. Nothing really builds. And then there are people earning the same, sometimes even less, who quietly build real wealth. No big risks, no viral business, no crazy investments. But year after year, their position improves. More control, more flexibility, less stress around money. Same economy, same opportunities, completely different outcomes. And here's the uncomfortable part. It's not about intelligence, it's not about luck, and it's not even about income. It's about how decisions are made when no one is watching. Because the truth is, most people don't have a money problem. They have a behavior problem. They earn enough, but they manage it in a way that keeps them stuck, while the 1% quietly follow a different system. Not a secret, not complicated, but very intentional. There's a couple in California, both working professionals, combined income around $180,000. Nice apartment, 2 cars, regular vacations. From the outside, they look like they figured it out, but behind the scenes, they carry credit card balances, minimal investments, and almost no real savings. Now compare that to someone else. A contractor in Arizona makes around $95,000 a year. Nothing flashy, but he owns a rental property, a solid investment portfolio, and has zero consumer debt. Lower income, higher control. This is where the gap starts. Not in earnings, but in behavior. And here's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. Both of these people think they're doing fine. The couple in California, they believe they're living well. Good income, good lifestyle, nothing looks wrong on the surface. But every month, their money is already spoken for. Rent, car payments, subscriptions, credit cards, there's no real margin, no real control. Now, the contractor in Arizona, his life looks simpler, less flashy, less impressive, but he has something the first couple doesn't: options. If work slows down, he's okay. If he wants to take a break, he can. If an opportunity shows up, he has the capacity to take it. Same country, same economy, completely different position. And that's when you start realizing something important. Money isn't just about how much you make. It's about how much of your life your money actually controls. Because for a lot of people, income goes up, but control doesn't. And once you notice that gap, you can't really unsee it. Hi, I'm Rishi, and lately I've been noticing a pattern that doesn't get talked about enough. Two people can earn similar money, live in the same country, have access to the same opportunities, and still end up in completely different financial positions. Not because one got lucky, but because one followed a different system, a quieter one, less visible, but far more effective over time. And today, we're breaking that system down. Not the flashy version of wealth, but the one that actually works.
Number 1. They don't try to look rich. Most people confuse income with wealth, and that confusion is expensive. There's a term for it: fake rich. People who spend to signal success. Luxury cars on payments, high-end apartments with no assets, designer brands bought on credit. A study from the Federal Reserve shows that the top 10% of earners still carry significant consumer debt when lifestyle expands faster than savings. The 1% understands something simple: looking rich and being rich are completely different games. So they don't play the visible one. They focus on what compounds quietly. Number 2, they avoid financial traps that look normal. Some traps don't look like mistakes. They look like responsible decisions. Take the 401k. It's great. Tax advantages, long-term growth. But here's what most people don't realize. That money is locked until around age 59 and a half. So people end up with hundreds of thousands invested, but very little accessible cash. That's not flexibility, that's restriction. The 1% thinks differently. They still invest for retirement, but they also build accessible assets, brokerage accounts, business income, cash-flowing investments, because wealth isn't just about having money, it's about being able to use it. Number 3, they control their fixed costs. This one is simple, but powerful. Most people upgrade their life as income grows. Bigger house, better car, more subscriptions, and slowly their income gets locked into expenses. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, housing alone can take up to 30 to 35% of income for many households. Add everything else, and there's no room left. The 1% does the opposite. They keep low fixed costs, even when income increases, because low fixed costs equals high flexibility, and flexibility is what creates opportunity. Number 3.5. They avoid permanent expenses. There's a type of expense that's more dangerous than others, the permanent one. A one-time purchase, manageable, but something that locks you into monthly payments, that's different. Car loans, expensive leases, high fixed subscriptions. These don't just cost money, they reduce flexibility, because now your future income is already committed. The 1% is careful here. They avoid adding expenses they can't easily remove, because freedom doesn't come from earning more, it comes from needing less. Number 4. They manage their psychology, not just money. This is where it gets deeper. Money decisions are rarely logical. They're emotional. Fear of losing money, fear of missing out, fear of falling behind. A concept in behavioral finance called loss aversion shows that people feel the pain of losing money twice as strongly as the pleasure of gaining it, which leads to bad decisions, selling too early, avoiding investing, chasing trends. The 1% isn't immune to emotion, but they build systems that reduce its impact. Automatic investing, long-term strategies, clear rules. So decisions aren't made in the moment, they're made in advance. Number 5. They don't rely on one income source. Most people depend on a single paycheck, which means if that stops, everything stops. The 1% spreads risk, multiple income streams, investments, side businesses, assets that generate cash. Not all at once, but gradually. Even one additional income stream changes how you think, because now you're not fully dependent. There's something the 1% values that most people never think about: decision space. It's the ability to make a choice without immediate financial pressure. Most people don't have this. They can't quit a bad job because bills are waiting. They can't take a break because income stops. They can't take a risk because failure feels too expensive. So even when better options exist, they stay stuck. A report from the Federal Reserve shows that over 60% of Americans would struggle if their income stopped for even a few months. That's not a money problem. That's a flexibility problem. The 1% solves this early. They build cash reserves. They build investments. They reduce dependency, not to show off, but to create breathing room. Because when you have space, you think differently. You don't rush decisions. You don't accept bad deals. You don't panic under pressure. And over time, those better decisions compound. If you've made it this far, you're probably not just watching for entertainment. You're trying to understand how this actually works, and that's rare. So if this kind of breakdown helps you think clearer about money, don't forget to subscribe this channel. Let's continue. Number 6, they focus on net worth, not income. Income looks impressive. Net worth is what matters. Someone earning $200K, spending $190K isn't building wealth. Someone earning $90K, saving and investing consistently, is. According to data from Ramsey Solutions, many millionaires never had extremely high incomes. They built wealth through consistency, discipline, and time, not just big salaries. Number 7, they think in time, not just money. This is subtle, but powerful. Before spending, they think, what does this cost me over time? A $1,000 purchase invested at 8% over 20 years becomes around $4,600. That changes how decisions feel, because now every dollar has a future, and that perspective naturally reduces unnecessary spending. Number 8, they prioritize control over comfort. Most people chase comfort, easier life, more convenience. The 1% chases control. Control over time, income, decisions, because comfort is temporary, control is long-term, and often they sacrifice short-term comfort to gain long-term freedom. The quiet difference. If you look closely, the difference isn't dramatic. It's not one big decision, it's dozens of small ones, spending slightly less than they earn, investing consistently, avoiding unnecessary debt, delaying gratification. Individually, these don't look powerful, but over time, they stack, and eventually, they separate people into completely different financial realities. If you step back, none of this is complicated, but it's not easy either, because these habits don't feel exciting. They don't look impressive. They don't get attention, but they work quietly, consistently, over time.
And the gap they create isn't obvious in a year, but over 10, 20, 30 years, it becomes impossible to ignore. If this made you rethink even one decision, that's enough, because this isn't about doing everything at once. It's about seeing clearly and adjusting slowly. If you want more ideas like this, stick around. See you in the next video. Goodbye.